Where's it going, guys? Dark Boy Sasuke here. Let me just say something real quick. Never mind, you guys don't want to hear that. But welcome back to second episode of this game called Trick and Treat. Now, something I noticed last video was that my microphone is very bad quality. Yes, I noticed that last episode. I know. But I'm gonna try and get a new microphone as soon as I can. If I like how it sounds, then yeah, I'll get a new microphone. But welcome back to a new episode. Hold on, let me click inside the game. Okay then. Alright. Yes, I'm using a controller. Get over it. Let's load it. Okay. By the way, no one has put up an entry or given me an entry for the intro. I know intros take a while to make, sure, but I mean you could at least enter. I mean, I'll probably make a proper video discussing, or I'm just gonna go with the word discussing, but discussing this intro project thing. So yeah, let's get back to the game. Axel, dang, get away from here and leave us alone. Unexpectedly, the steps are heard closer. This time, they do not disappear, but rather come at us. I can't stand it. Desperately, I move my flashlight everywhere looking for the author of these footsteps, hoping for the light to reveal their identity and erase our fears. Axel, nothing. Is that all there is around here? Just empty air? My anxiety grows with each failed attempt. I refuse to believe that it was a ghost. Suddenly, when I move the flashlight again, I see a silhouette. Bly, is that you? Dang, Bly, I didn't know you were going to be everywhere in this game. I could not distinguish what it was, but for a moment, the light revealed something. Quickly, I pointed to the same place, only to discover it was gone. I held my breath anxiously. It was not an illusion. I am sure that I saw something. It was then that I heard something nearby. Without even thinking, I aimed the light towards that place. It's getting suspenseful. What I found leaves us paralyzed with an expression of disbelief on our faces. It's a cat. It is a white cow with eyes of an intense red, which stands before us. Her look is not the friendliest, to say something. Somehow, I get the feeling it's a female cat. How? How? Suddenly, she lets out a thunderous meow that leaves us terrified. Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize that. I pressed the left trigger and it went back to the previous scene. Oh, that's cool. Sound more like a lion roaring than a simple cat. The echo of her meow is heard throughout the forest, making it sound more sinister than it should be. It was then that suddenly an inexplicable force hits us there. Hits us three. Oh, that's bright. That was loud. I fall to the ground, and little by little, my eyelids close. The fatigue becomes unbearable. I lose consciousness on the ground of the forest without knowing what was going to happen with me. Interlude. Before night falls. This would have been a great stopping place on the last episode. Unfortunately, I recorded for more than 10 minutes, so...
Do you have a code yet?
Okay, sorry about that. It is a day like any other, so normal that it was almost painful. This is a nice place. Like, dang. The only special thing that could be said about it is that it's October 31st. 31st? Last time I said October 31st. That is, something. I don't know. Far were the memories when I was a kid and went out with my friends to ask for sweets from house to house. Just remembering it made me sigh. I feel nostalgic. Some things were better when I was a child, or at least seems like that. There were some who had good costumes, whether it was superheroes or monsters. My friends and I, on the other hand, had to use our imagination. Creativity was our costume, you could say, no matter how funny it could sound. Remember that my mother once painted red my face and told me you will be the devil. But it seems only she saw it that way. When we went from home to home, everyone said I was the tomato man. Oh. But those things didn't matter to me, since we always had a good time. Suspense. If I asked for candy now, even I had the best costume, I'm sure no one would give me anything. I mean, that wasn't suspense, that was just... Forget what that, I said suspense just now. Like... Except perhaps a scolding for acting like a child when I am 17 years old. You're 17? I would have guessed maybe like 14. But anyway, I can't stay in the past. I must live in the present, no matter how little exciting that might be. Back to reality, we are a group of friends who don't have any plans for today. We are still not old enough to go on to a disco. Why do you have a skull and crossbones? Why do you have me on your floor? Why? Whatever. I didn't know this game. I didn't know that the developers of this game, or Visual Story, knew that I was gonna play it. Dang, I mean, on my image I don't have headphones on, but still, my image is blue, not gray. And I doubt guys as us would have any luck in that environment. The other option would be go to a party, meet girls, and have fun. Everything perfect, except that nobody has invited us. Not being popular has its disadvantages. Yeah, I can't say that because I am popular. Right? I'm popular? Friend, hey Axel, let's have a couple matches. What do you say? My friend Steven called my attention while playing with the game console. Oh. Hey. I like this music. Rush Red, I believe that's what the game is called. A fast and quite complicated fighting game for me. I would normally agree to play with him, but for some reason, I don't feel in the mood today. Axel, I have no desire to play now. No one says that! Like, who says that they have no desire to play? Makes no sense. You know, no one says that they have no desire to play. It doesn't make sense. No one says that. Most people would just say that they don't want to, or they don't... You know, I'm ranting on because it's something I do. I replied with discouragement. I almost feel bad for doing it. Steven, boring! The AI is no rival for me. That's what I say all the time, but then I die. Steven said with confidence that you're playing it on normal difficulty does not help your argument. Axel, I don't feel like losing, but if you want, you can challenge to Alfred. I said, leading the attention to my other friend. Alfred? Who names their child Alfred? You know what? I'm not gonna. I've never heard a child named Alfred before. Alfred. I don't know how to play that, answered Alfred, downing for a second. He is sitting behind the PC, but it seems that he isn't doing anything interesting. The screen only shows a lot of text. I think he's on Wikipedia. Axel, hey, don't you have something more fun to do? I asked with discouragement, without even thinking about what he was reading. Alfred looks at me surprised. Alfred. God! The actual problem of society is that people are not interested in discovering their history. He's one of those pseudo-intellectuals, always looking for any rare information to appear smarter than others. Alfred. When we forget our past mistakes, we are doomed to repeat them. He added later. Stephen, what are you talking about? This village is small and its story is not interesting at all. Nothing outside of the normal has ever happened in it. Alfred laughs mockingly after hearing that. Alfred, your ignorance is worthy of praise. He pauses, filling his chest with pride. Alfred, the very fact it is of a small town is the reason it's full of mysteries. Did you know that 20 years ago, on this date, a man disappeared? Doesn't that happen every time? Actually, so, what about it? I ask without being impressed or even interested in the least. Things like that happen all the time in all places. Exactly what I just said. Alfred, as I thought, you don't know the history despite living in this very place. Alfred said while adjusting his glasses in an arrogant gesture. Alfred, there's a legend behind the disappearance. That is what I was reading. After listening to him, I look back at the computer screen with curiosity. It's then that I noticed that it was not Wikipedia, but some other page. Alfred, come on, read this and learn it a little. Alfred said, inviting us to read what was on the screen. Oh, sorry, I don't know where that came from. Both Stephen and I were moved closer to read it. Town of Abingdon, Oxfordshire Country, 1994. I came to this town with only 4,000 inhabitants to support them in an investigation. Truth is that never in my life have I seen something this strange. I won't say your typical detective-ish nonsense that I have seen thousands of strange things in my life. I've seen many crimes, yes, some difficult to solve, but all of them were human. What's up with those, like the dashes before human and after? Whatever. Even if you don't know how they managed to perpetrate the crime, you know that they are people like anyone else. In this case, I don't think I'm able to say the same thing. Truth is that I can't understand what happened. I was called for the disappearance of a man named Matthew Graham. 23 years. Single. The last time he was seen, he was returning home from a Halloween party. This is why I hate Halloween! God! He had drank alcohol, but was still sober. Or at least that's what witnesses said. Anyway, this is not something which can be explained with a simple drunkenness. Oh god, I'm so stupid. Yes. He apparently got lost on the way home and decided to enter the forest called Oakwood. It had rained yesterday, so the ground was wet and muddy. We could easily find his traces, which were leading deep inside the forest. Apparently he walked for 3 hours before stopping. I say stop, but the truth is, we don't know what happened then. The tracks suddenly ended up in a clearing in the forest. And that's all. There was no evidence of struggle, no other trace, or pieces of clothing on the ground. There was no blood, no more footprints, or anything else. The depth of his last footprints and the position they were in indicated that he was still walking. At no point he stood still. It was as if there's no space between that. I'm not gonna point out the grammar mistakes. It was as if he had vaporized in the air, with all his clothes, in the middle of his walk. Obviously, I can't believe such a thing. But I can't give another explanation. The only thing I remember is that near the footprints I sensed a faint smell of rot. However, there were no animal corpses nearby. It is ridiculous to think he suddenly started to decay and became Earth. In the end, the case was closed in just 3 days. With no evidence of any kind, we couldn't say anything but that he decided to escape from the village. However, while officially there was no more to do, I couldn't sleep in peace. Thinking about what could have happened to him took away my sleep. In my mind, I thought all sorts of theories, like maybe everything was a plan developed by Matthew. But in the end, they all seemed impossible. I decided to investigate more on the issue. I searched the town for similar stories, and to my surprise, I found 4 more. All young men. The story was always the same. They walked in the forest alone, disappearing without trace. Even more curious is that all of them disappeared on the same date, October 31st. But there is more. Of course there is! OxyClean! But wait! There is more! A detail that completely eliminates the possibility that there is a killer or kidnapper behind this. Who is that, like Dan Walkerberg? I don't know, it's been a while. I know he's dead, which is sad. Right? Yeah, he's dead. Whatever. And that is the separation of the years. Roger Bacon. Who has a name like that? Disappeared in 1924. Mitchell Smith disappeared in 1867. Jason Black disappeared in 1813. What's the separation? Okay, 54 years. No, it's not 54 years. And the worst of all, Oswald Taylor disappeared in 1707. I don't think Halloween was then there. It simply couldn't be possible. My curiosity led me to dig deeper. I thought that the answer may be in the past of the forest. It was then when I discovered that what seemed to be a simple and boring forest actually hid a great story. Before it was called Oakwood, or Oaks Forest, the place was called Witchwood. Oh, I don't like that. The word witch has huge similarity with witch. Taking into consideration that is an old name and English changes over time, language, not English. that indicates that it was the forest of witches. Apparently, more than 400 years ago, the people of the village believed witches lived in the woods. Unfortunately, almost all of the information is already lost. Their story is told in voice, without a properly written record. I just know that with the change of religion to Christian, people stopped seeing the witches with good eyes and began to hunt them. Apparently, the last one before her death cast a curse on the forest, which even today should continue to exist. Anyway, obviously I cannot accept something like that as the answer. In the end, I have no other choice than accepting that each one of them escaped from the village. Sorry! Using the legend of the forest to make it look like it was something supernatural. Alright. Axel. Interesting story. I didn't know that such a story was hiding in this town. I said, honestly surprised. Even if it is a lie, it managed to hold my interest. Alfred, wait, there is something more, Alfred said. At the same time, he scrolled to the top comments. We read what was written there. A couple of comments caught our attention. Both of them talk about some creature. At that time, they felt a horrible fear for what could happen to them. While the two comments share great similarities, they could have been written by the same person. There are many others that deny it. Looks like many people went to the forest because of the legend, but couldn't find anything. Stephen, I thought that you only read these things to look more cool before the girls, replied Stephen as a joke. Alfred giggles with with a little shame. Alfred, partly, yes. Oh god, that turn back and forth music, this side to this side, then this and that. He admitted it. That was a secret. No, everybody silently knew. Stephen, well, now we have an activity for tonight, Stephen said at the same time. He makes a face overflowing with enthusiasm. Axel, what? I asked, completely lost. I thought we were just killing time. Stephen, simple. Let's go to that forest. Stephen replied without hesitation. He seemed really fascinated by the story. Alfred, are you insane? Said Alfred, unable to believe what he just heard. You only needed to look at his face to know he did not like the idea. Despite everything you've heard, you want to go? Of course. It would be a test of courage among us three, replied Stephen, full of confidence. Perhaps too much. He relaxed a bit. Don't tell me you're afraid. No. Why should I be afraid? Yeah, why should you be afraid, Alfred? Okay. I'm too cringy, answered Alfred. At the same time, he folded his arms, making a false gesture of security. It's more than obvious that you are, Alfred. That you are afraid, Alfred. Almost as much as when you have to talk with a girl. And what about you, Axel? Don't tell me you won't come. Suddenly, Stephen asked me, at the same time looking at me mockingly. Don't tell me you want to be the chicken of the group. I hate that tone of voice he used. Okay, let me readjust my tone. Don't tell me you want to be the chicken of the group. Is that better? Yeah? I will never give you that, I said without thinking, showing a confident smile and look. Well, let's not say more. Take your coats, backpacks, flashlights, and some food. We are going to the forest. Ooh. Stephen said, full of energy. Yeah! We three said it in unison, as if we were going to have some kind of private party, not really knowing what we were doing or what we were going to find. "2:13 a.m. Man, it feels like there's another presence in here. I awake completely confused, not knowing how much time had passed. No, don't do it. No. Stop. No. No. Sorry about that. Apparently I hit my microphone. Yeah. Wow. I apparently booped my own nose. I awake completely confused, not knowing how much time had passed. My head hurts like... Screw it. My head hurts like hell, but I can't blame it. Fortunately, the pain goes away quickly, just as my confusion. Soon, I come back to my senses. My flashlight is lying on the ground, shining towards the empty air. I immediately pick it up. It was my only protection against the darkness that surrounds me. Then I remember that Stephen and Alfred were with me. Axel. Stephen! Alfred! Can you hear me? No, Axel, I can't. It's too dark. That was my attempt of a joke. Did you laugh? Let me know in the comments. Without thinking, I screamed their names in the dark while trying to find them with my flashlight, but there is no trace of them. They are gone. Ah! Where the hell are they? And what the heck just happened? Seriously! You cuss! And then you just say a child word! What kind of 17-year-old are you? I really don't understand anything. I'm not. Why do you cuss all the time? Crap. We should have stayed at home. This is not a proof of courage. We could be in danger. There's like hair floating by. I have to find them. 2:19 a.m. Little time has passed since I started to look for my friends, and I already can't stay in this place. I like this music. Yeah. The soundtrack in this game is awesome. I really do like it. I'm going crazy in this forest. A darkness that covers it is unnatural. It is a darkness that steals your own sanity, replacing it with anxiety. To make it worse, the air is damp and cold as in winter, carrying a strong, rot smell. As if there were corpses of animals hidden throughout the forest. I imagine that there are. Ooh. Ooh. I like this music. Yeah. The atmosphere in this place is oppressive. With every step you take, it makes you more uncomfortable. Since I started to look for my friends, I felt that something is watching me, but there is nothing. How do you know? I'm just too cringy. I sigh with my voice full of frustration. I just want to get out of here. I continue walking devoid of any hope. No matter where I look or how much I walk, I find nothing. I can't even hear the sounds of animals. Rather, it seems they are already dead and rotting. Axel, no, I have to calm myself, I said to myself. I stopped for a moment to rest. I breathed deeply, but the rotten air of this place does me no good. Immediately, I start to cough, as if I had something stuck in the throat. Axel, crap! 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 What am I going to do? I know I'm cringy, but what is up with the grammar in this game? I mean, I'd imagine that this is a Japanese developers. These are Japanese developers, because just telling by the art style of it, I'd imagine, like the screenshots and all. But still, they went through all the trouble just to learn English and learn somewhat proper grammar, but they can't even learn proper grammar. Okay, I give them props for making this game. It's pretty interesting, but I mean, come on. I'm not criticizing what they're doing. I'm just trying to make a joke. And obviously I'm failing. So yeah. This cursed forest seems endless. And even if by miracle I could escape, I cannot abandon Stephen and Alfred. I'm really screwed up. I'm done judging the game. It's too much. Again, I sigh, feeling on the verge of tears. My frustration is building up, but I have to do my best to keep calm. If I fall into despair, then there is no doubt I will be joining the list of missing persons. Okay. In the end, I decided to keep walking. Step by step, I should get somewhere. At least I was convinced that staying in the same place would not do me any good. Even if it was only to deceive myself, feeling that I am doing something, I wanted to continue walking. Time passes without any changes. Only the sound of my footsteps can be heard. Knowing that as soon as you stop, you will be surrounded by a dead silence is a good incentive to keep walking. But my legs were already hurting. And okay.
Now, hello everybody, I'm the Amazing Body Guy, even though my chin was just in there. Now, listen up everybody. for you, the commenters specifically. We will be doing a little bit of something special at every end card with this amazing and flabby body. Alright, so we will be picking from the comments a special something for me to do at the end card. Now, now back to you, Trusky!